And for more, Jeremy Saltan, who's an advisor for the new Right Party, joins Zeev Yanai here in the studio. Thank you both so much for coming in. Jeremy, I'd like to start with you. Let's start from the stance of the right. Tell me, how can you expect the right-wing parties, how are you expecting them to react once this deal is rolled out, given what we know already?
Well, first of all, we have to see what the plan actually says, right? We've heard a lot of things. It's time, finally, after 3.5 years, to actually see what it says, and we're all looking forward to seeing that. Now, of course, each party goes ahead and puts out what their red lines are. When it comes to Yamina and everyone else on the right, it's pretty clear what our red lines are. There's no reason to go ahead and repeat them. What's going to be very interesting to me is to see what happens more within the center, what's going to happen with Benny Gantz, what's going to happen with Avigdor Lieberman. They're in a very tough situation. If we can rely on the reports, there are a lot of things coming out of here that really look very, very good, things that really a majority of Israelis back. What's going to happen when these people need to make a hard decision?
So, Zev, how do you see this playing out for Benny Gantz? Of course, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he's going to get some of the credit, but what about Benny Gantz?
Benny Gantz has made a move. It's the first time that he looks like a leader. With the PR war has come to this, that it's either his narrative or Netanyahu's narrative, which Trump supports it. And right now, it looks like he's doing the right move. But the media, the Israeli media, is very cynical, very skeptical, because the indictment is going to go tomorrow. It's going to start the debates, and right now it's a war. And Benny Gantz is over there. He's not going to have a press conference. Netanyahu is going to have one, and we're going to see during this day a lot of very interesting things.
All right, Jeremy, let's talk about the Defence Minister, Naftali Bennett. He's come out to say that under no condition will Israel allow for the establishment of a Palestinian state. So tell me, if this is in fact the case, what is the point of a peace plan between the two warring parties?
Well, it's interesting, right? Trump hasn't called it the peace plan. He's called it the deal of the century. Perhaps what we are going to see, and again, based on various media reports, it seems like this might be what we're seeing, is really a case in coercive diplomacy. We've seen the Palestinians go ahead and reject plan after plan. Yeah, this one does not look like it's going to be a good one for them, but even ones that did look good for them, whether it was the Kerry plan in 2014, whether it was the plan that Arafat rejected that was presented to him by Barak, whether it was the plan that Abbas said no to that was presented to him by Olmert. I mean, we're in a situation where the Palestinians just say no to everybody. And whether people in China or Russia or France, you know, they might disagree, but there's one big superpower that is still the biggest superpower on the stage today, and that is the United States of America. The Palestinians have been spitting in the face of the Americans since the beginning of the administration, and it looks like it might be time for them to pay for that.
Do you believe they will take any of the plan once it's released on board? What do you make of the fact that there are no Palestinian representatives there in Washington as this peace plan that involves two sides is being rolled out?
So again, the Palestinians decided from the beginning of the process they did not want to have any input. So yeah, if you're only going to have the Israelis giving input on the plan, so the plan might actually look really good for the Israelis. This is time for the Palestinians to think maybe it's time to change course, because if they don't change course soon, I think they're going to be very disappointed. Another good lesson is, as they wait, history is teaching them that the plans are not going to get better with time. It's time they make some big compromises. I don't think they're willing to do that.
And we have heard Trump, though, say that, you know, there can be no peace without the Palestinians coming to the table, and this will be a plan that they cannot refuse. What do you see being in it for them?
I don't think that they will do anything but to refuse it. By the way, today, it's 19 years ago, the Taba summit was closed by Arik Sharon, that actually killed the Clinton proposal. And maybe, just maybe, somebody in the White House remembers that this is the day that he had his enemy and nemesis got the door shut in front of him. But right now, the Israeli media does not believe, as well as the public, that the Palestinians will take this. They will go, and you know, things are starting to rattle beneath the face of ground.
We know that Benny Gantz really didn't want to go in the first place. Tell me, what are the optics here that he is really trying to avoid?
He wants to look like a leader. He wants to look like somebody that can actually talk to the White House. He had one of his closest aides talking to the White House. She organized this entire thing. It's a very big thing for him. But the optics is very interesting because Benjamin Netanyahu is flying through his entire 777 jumbo plane over there, and Benny Gantz only with 10 members in his entourage, going around in Natbag, in the airport, saying hello to people, trying to look as common as he can, to try to picture something very not like Netanyahu, very down to earth. And this is very interesting because people like it in social media, in the traditional media. It looks brilliant for him right now.
I don't know. A normal person does not have an entourage of 10 people that go with him when he flies overseas, so I don't accept that.
Well,
also, you know, you talked about the
50
Taba, 50 people. Okay, I don't have an entourage around me. I don't know about you, but I think the normal people do not have that. Yes, the Prime Minister has a special plane. That's the way it is with a majority of the nations. But you were mentioning the Taba plan, which I think might have been the best plan that was ever given. When Ehud Barak was Prime Minister, sitting there in the last days of the Clinton presidency, really what the Palestinians said is, well, wait, we'll get a better deal. And I'm going to come back to this point. The Palestinians see that the longer they wait, suddenly things are changing out there. Suddenly, you can't just wait for a better deal. And the Palestinians need to come to the table. If they don't, so you know what? Maybe Israel will start to make some unilateral moves of their own. And this is something to look forward to.
This is something very interesting. The way that he looks right now, it's very interesting because this is the first time the right wing has looked so optimistic about a peace plan. And, you know, this is for you, man.
Well, it certainly will be, gentlemen. Very interesting to see what is in that plan when it's rolled out possibly tomorrow. Really appreciate you both coming in. Thank you so much.